In this video, we'll be talking about Amazon advertising, and you will learn 6 PPC strategies which you can implement in your Amazon business and supercharge your profit and revenue and everything else in 2025. My guest today will be Max Hoffman from BidiX, and I wanted to mention that BidiX is one of the sponsors of European Seller Conference, which is a conference organized for Amazon sellers in Europe by Klik, by us. And the next event is coming up in beginning of March 2025. So you can check and find the link below in the description. And now let me invite Max. Hello, Max.
Hi, Augustus. How are you?
Hi. So yeah, today we'll talk about 6 strategies for Amazon advertising. And before that, Max, introduce very shortly what you do and how do you help Amazon sellers?
So, hello, everybody. Thank you, Augustus, for having us today. My name is Max Hoffman. I'm one of the co-founders of BidiX. We help to grow and scale Amazon advertising accounts by leveraging AI and automation. So I started my journey as an Amazon seller myself 10 years ago, back in 2015. And I was really frustrated with the manual optimization and management of advertising campaigns. But at the same time, we realized how important it is to really invest enough resources into the optimization of those, because there's like a really high budget allocated to the advertising campaigns. And back then, it was much simpler than it is today. Back then, it was also much cheaper than it is today. But over time, advertising has become more and more important, and sellers, advertisers are spending more than ever for their ads and to be visible on Amazon. And it's like one of the only real big measures that you are in control. So you cannot change the selling fees, you cannot change SPA fees. That is like not a possibility to increase the margins, but you really are in control of the advertising spend that you have and how you invest it on Amazon.
Yes, and I remember you were a guest on YouTube channel of Klik doing a demo Mondays for your BidiX tool. I think you were one of the first 5, I think, demos we did. And actually, when you said 10 years ago you were frustrated, I thought you will say you were frustrated you couldn't get reviews, and then you were searching where to get reviews. And I was a reviewer of your product, so I like to mention this every time.
Yeah,
it was 10 years ago. All
yeah,
right.
but a lot has changed. And when we started with BidiX, a software platform, then to like really take over and automate a lot of the manual things that we were taking care of. Actually, my wife, Nadine Schepper, who studied computer science, was the one who said to me, like, Max, all the work that you're doing manually, I can probably write you a simple script to automate that for you. And then we started like with BidiX about 6-7 years ago. And now serve over 2,000 advertisers with the BidiX platform to help them make their life a little bit easier and make them to focus on what's important for them and not like to waste so much time with a manual adjustment and optimization.
All right, cool. Yeah, let's move on to the content. And today we're talking about strategies to supercharge your PPC this year. So, Max, stage is yours, and let's dive in.
Yeah. So what we have for you today are 6 quick strategies to supercharge your PPC in 2025. And we'll get right into it. And we'll start with the use of negative keywords for higher ROAS. And we still see that most sellers are just using the keywords that are already gaining visibility in their campaigns for the negation, but it is possible to already negate many more keywords right from the start, where you can tell that you probably won't receive a really good performance. And so you can reduce the amount of ad spend that you are going to waste. So what you should do here, and what we recommend, is leverage brand analytics. This is already out since a couple of years, and it provides you like real first-party data insights into what is actually going on Amazon, which keywords are searched quite frequently, and which are not, and which are fitting to your products, and which are not. So over there, you do have the search analytics, and especially like the search query performance report. And what we recommend you to do here is to do a deep dive into the search query performance report and identify performing, like bad performing or misleading search terms for your products that do not really fit. And this is like a really easy way to identify keywords that do have like very low click-through rates, very low conversion rates, where you will probably have like a low ROAS, like a higher ACoS, and even like many clicks because like people are searching for it, or also like keywords that are misleading, that are not really a fit for your product. And so you can analyze that manually, but you can also leverage the little helpers nowadays. So for instance, for ChatGPT, for the negative targets, you could run a simple query where you upload the performance report and you state, for instance, the prompt: you're a senior Amazon advertising manager in one of the leading Amazon agencies in the world. Customers trust you because of your good keyword research and suitable keywords. A client needs a list of negative keywords. Then you state like the URL for the ASIN, and you can then request like to also create the list of keywords that are based on features that the product, for instance, does not have. And you can also like ask yourself, what would an Amazon customer search and click, but in the end not buy based on the features he thought the ASIN had, but did not have in the end. So this is like an easy way to already start from the beginning by lowering the amount of ad spend that you will waste, because like the most of the ad spend that is wasted actually just receives like 1, 2, 3 clicks, where oftentimes algorithms are not really able to already tell, is this going to convert or is this not going to convert? And this is helping you from the start to invest the advertising budget as good as possible. The second tip is to leverage Amazon Marketing Cloud audiences and waste less ad spend. So Amazon Marketing Cloud audiences are available since end of last year. So they're pretty new. And what it enables you is to set a boost for those audiences. And with the latest data that we now have from the past two months, we see that AMC audiences compared like to the regular campaigns have like twice the ROAS and generate like 3 times the sales compared to the general campaigns. And so what you can do with the Amazon Marketing Cloud custom audiences is that besides the placement where you can select top of search, product detail page, or rest of search, you now also do have a second tab that is called audiences, where you are able to choose an audience. So for instance, like retargeting. And then the same as with the placement bid adjustments, you are able to set a percentage multiplier, which will increase the bid for these audiences. And as with placement bids, you should always consider like the base bid that you are setting, because like an increase of 200% for like $1 then is going to have a bid of like $3. It is increased by like 200%. So what are the best practices for that we realized in the last two months? So there are basic 2 approaches. The first one is the implementation of the custom audiences into existing campaign structure, where you then have the bids increased as soon as a user is searching for a keyword that fits in that audience. So for instance, if somebody searched for the product but did not purchase it, and you create an Amazon Marketing Cloud custom audience, then you can set that audience, select that audience over there, increase the bid by 200%. And so if now that same person searches again, and they already viewed the product in the past, your keyword bid is suddenly going to be like 3 times the regular bid, because you know that you have like a much higher likelihood to convert that customer because he already viewed that product in the past, or he already added the product to the basket or added it to the wish list whatsoever. And the second possibility is like to create dedicated new audiences campaigns. So in that case, you create like a completely new campaign, and you can make use of really high percentage multipliers. So have like base bids that are very low, and then set like the multiplier for the target audience, for the target group, by like 900%. And this makes sure that yes, you are going to have like really high bids in the end, but only for like audiences where you know you have like a very high likelihood to also convert those. And so this is like how it then looks. For instance, you can create an audience of all customers that purchased from you at least 2 times in the past, in the last 30 days. So if you have like an audience like that and you want to launch a new product, then you can directly select that audience, and you know that you are going to have like much higher conversion rates for those, and you can like directly evaluate and adjust the audience. The next one is the example for like a wish list lookalike. So everybody who has similar patterns to customers who added the product to the wish list can now be created in an audience. And so what Amazon does when you have a wish list lookalike is it probably has like 100 identifiers for a person. So where does that person live? Like, what does it look on Prime Video? What does he or she has like as a household income? Do they have like a dog or a cat whatsoever? So these are like all patterns and like identifiers where you can say a strong lookalike should have like 80 of the same identifiers than the ones that actually added the product to the wish list. And so this is like a really easy way to create incremental sales and to create like incremental reach for customers that are like very similar to the ones that want to buy your product because they added it to the wish list but did not yet buy. And so you have the possibility that you have a higher percentage increase than for those audiences, which is going to increase the bids for those potential customers with like a very high purchase probability. What we recommend is like to mainly focus on the main keywords that you do have. The third tip is to not only focus on the KPIs that you do see in the advertising console, but also to consider the visibility as well as like the share of voice SOV data for the adjustments that you are making. You're analyzing the keyword potential that it could have probably. It is going to make the adjustment based on if it's things that there is like an increase in incremental sales or not. So this is really helping you to go beyond just the raw data that are focused on Amazon advertising data that you receive over there. And it's going to take like a bigger picture into account when you are making these adjustments. So what is going to be considered when we look at the potential is what search volume does that keyword currently have? What is the placement that you do have for the moment with your organic listing as well as with your paid listing? And the position to determine the potential that we do have then and adjust a bit accordingly. And this really takes into account then to make like much more strategic relevant decisions when you adjust the bids for the keywords. The fourth tip is to make use of the Search Query Performance Report for benchmarking. We launched during COVID a tool, amx500.com, which enables you to compare your performance that you do have currently globally with 500 top advertisers on our platform. This is, however, only data from us. It is pretty accurate when we see like what are the quarterly results that Amazon is announcing, how much did ad spend grow, and so on. We can have like a very strong correlation in our data with the ones that Amazon is then sharing publicly. The Search Query Performance Report, however, is providing like a much more detailed insight report into directly peers in your category. And so it enables you to access first-party data that was like in the past only available through third-party data providers, and then it was always only like an estimate. And what like the Brand Analytics Search Query Performance Report enables you is to access these first-party data directly from Amazon and compare those like with other first-party data that you do have only on Amazon. And it's like a really great tool to identify yourself, where you are positioned and how you benchmark against like close competitors. And it also helps you to identify like new search terms where, for instance, the click-through rate and the conversion rates are increasing for the market, but not for your brand or product at the moment. So if you see that, for instance, especially with new keywords coming up because of new trends and so on, you see that those are like increasing in general in the market, but not for your brand, then these are like also great options to look for when you want to expand the keywords that you are currently targeting. So what we recommend to do that is first, you simply download the data that you get from the Search Query Performance Report. At the moment, there is like no API interface available. And the next step, you can identify like which of the Search Query Performance data you already do have in your own system that you are targeting already, and which one are still missing. And you can also like identify which search terms you should go for, especially if you compare, for instance, like the conversion rate of the market with the conversion rate of the brand. So you can see like where is there a potential gap which you can leverage and then take action and add the keywords. And again, like the data analytics, you don't need to be a scientist to do that, but like ChatGPT is going to help you with that. We find the senior Amazon advertising manager as like a role identification very helpful to give the guidance. And then, can you give me some recommendations for business adjustments? Focus on KPIs like click-through rate and impressions to improve the creative, top search impression share to improve the share of voice and visibility, and ACOS sales and cost for efficiency analysis. And so what it helps you is you can then increase the bids for keywords with like decreasing brand CTR, but like increasing market CTR. You can create like dedicated campaigns, for instance, if you're not running yet sponsored brands for those or no sponsored brand videos, then these are also mostly quite an easy way to generate incremental reach, and by that also like incremental sales. And last but not least, of course, you can also like decrease the bids for keywords where market click-through rate as well as like the conversion rate are continuously falling, and it might make sense to get out of those. The second to last tip is going to be use individual campaign structures based on the strategy you are going to focus on. What does that mean is every product has kind of a product life cycle that it is going through, where you have like the nice honeymoon period in the beginning, where you have like a saturation in the middle, and then like after some years, products are going to go down again, and then you need to launch new variations, new models, whatever, to keep them really up. And only very few products stay on top as a single product without variations and so on, just by themselves. So most have some iterations where they get better over time, and then they are going to restart the product life cycle. And so what we mean with that, with a smart ad format structuring, is that you can have adjusted structures depending on the target, like on the goal that you do have with the product. If it's like just a cash cow, if it's like a new product that you expand into a very competitive industry where it might make sense like to invest a little bit more budget in the beginning, where it might just be that you are selling off. And depending on what strategy you do have and in which life cycle the product is at the moment, not only the different match types different, but also like the different ad types that you should use differ. And so depending on those, we recommend to adjust it. And what we did for that is we built a small AI ourselves. It's called layer1.com. It's free to use. And you can simply select like the structure that you want to have. And then it not only suggests a structure that you should focus on with match types and ad types, but it also will directly suggest the keywords that you should then focus and target. And our last tip for today is to understand the path to conversion that your customers are taking. And with that, we are coming back to Amazon Marketing Cloud and to the marketing funnel. So it is important nowadays to not only leverage sponsored products at the bottom of the funnel, but like to see the whole acquisition of customers with a bigger picture. We recently have sponsored TV being announced, which is like now create an awareness possibility also directly with the sponsored ad suite. But like to get a better understanding of how are customers actually converting at the end, which different touch points do they have, Amazon Marketing Cloud plays a key role. And it really helps you to identify with which paths do I have that drive most of my new to brand customers, like incremental revenue. Which path do I have that are just like my cash cow path, kind of. And so it really helps you to better understand not only the last touch attribution that we do have from Amazon itself, but with Amazon Marketing Cloud, you can also completely adjust that attribution model. And for instance, if you have like a new sponsored streaming TV campaign, you probably won't generate any sales out of that. But you will probably find in your path to conversion that oftentimes a buyer has had their first touch point with like a streaming TV ad. And so it really helps you to understand where is actually my money best invested if I want to also futurely grow my business. And for sponsored TV, for instance, we ran a small case study where what we received is like when you look at the first click ROAS, for instance, then we received like a ROAS of 5, not like the last click, but like the first click attribution model. So that all the sales that have been generated at the end that have had like the first touch with a sponsored TV at the first was like 5, which is pretty good. And the new to brand rate was like 35%, and the purchase rate was like plus 140% compared to the path where sponsored TV was not the first touch point. And for you to like really leverage Amazon Marketing Cloud, not only like path to conversion, but also to really get a better understanding on how is my money actually spent on Amazon and which ad formats work, which don't, which audiences work, which don't. And also like to leverage these new Amazon Marketing Cloud custom audiences. We do have like a special offer for all listeners, which is like leverage the AMC data, the dashboard, as well as like the audiences, 3 months for free by going to getbidx.io/AMC or by scanning the QR code. And that will make sure that you stay ahead of the competition and that you crush Amazon advertising also in 2025. this is like a great chance. PPC custom audiences from AMC were just announced end of 2024. So by starting with that early, you really do have a great competitive advantage.
Okay, so thanks for the tips. I hope people followed and made notes. If you didn't make notes, you can watch the replay, and you can, if you're watching live, you are able to ask questions right now. We have a few questions already, and if you are watching the replay of this video, leave your comments and questions below in the comment section, and we will ask Max to come back and answer those. And as always, if you enjoy the content, don't forget to click like and subscribe. And I wanted to mention that Max and his team, they are sponsoring our upcoming Prague event. It's a European Seller Conference. This event has been since 2015. It's the 5th edition, which is happening in March 5th to 8th, 2025. So we're trying to do it annually, every year around March time. So make sure you visit us one day. Here you can meet up to 200 attendees from 30 countries. So it's not like event in Germany or event in UK or event in America. It's event in Europe with European people, a big mixed variety of people. All right, so we have few questions, and I will bring. Yeah, you talked about AMC, so Brian has few questions about AMC. How is the AMC audience created? Does Amazon do this automatically after you select the audience?
So Amazon Marketing Cloud audiences are being created in the Amazon Marketing Cloud backend, but it is also possible now to automatically push those via the API. So what we at BidiX do is that if you leverage the AMC data offer that we do have over here, by default, we create the retargeting, the wish list, the cart abundance audiences for you. And we also automatically push those to Seller Central, to the advertising console. And then you do have the possibility to leverage those directly. Otherwise, you would need to do that manually, which requires like SQL. And then again, you do have like 500 different columns that you can choose from. And doing it manually is like super complicated. So leveraging any existing solutions will make the life much easier. And if you have any custom requests, then we are also able, like we created an own AI solution for that to build queries, to help us with building queries, custom requests. And so if you have any custom requests, then we are also happy to integrate those.
All right. And Brian has another question from the tip 1, where you were showing AMC audiences. Are they similar to tailored promotions, or how they are different from each other?
Yeah, they go into the direction of brand tailored promotion, where you do have similar possibilities to pick from. But like with the Amazon Marketing Cloud, you can be much more specific, and the requirements to select those are much more detailed. And so oftentimes you don't have enough data to run a brand tailored promotion. And then it will not work. And with the Amazon Marketing Cloud, you do have like a look back window of up to 2 years, where it's like much easier to get the critical amount of data that is needed. And it also does not require any promo code or whatsoever that needs to be submitted, but it just works like in the back end.
All right, we have one more question from Patrick. What would you recommend if Amazon has insufficient data available to specify an audience? For example, luxury products with very few purchases or low conversion rate over time.
Yeah, in that case, it is that, as mentioned, you can look back up to 2 years. And what you also can do is to create the lookalikes. And with that, most of the time, we then were able to build the audience, and we only had like very few audiences that still failed. If like the audience still failed, then probably AMC would not be that much of a leverage to really pull, since there's like too little advertising data and sales data in general to really leverage like these advanced tactics.
Okay, cool. So we don't have many more questions from the audience right now. And once again, I wanted to mention that BidiX is sponsoring Europe is a conference, and BidiX is sponsoring this year our VP Day, and VP Day is for 25 VP sellers. At the moment, we have already more than 20 registered, and they meet for the whole day. They have fun, eat together, and spend time with few of the VP masterminds. This year we'll have John Derkitz, Matt Altman, and Vanessa Hung. And if we continue, the main event with we expect about up to 200 attendees on March 6-7. It's 2-day conference. Every year we are innovating, introducing different things. And for example, this year we are introducing 1 hour of lightning talks where any attendee can submit a talk application for 10 minutes. They will be able to be on the stage. So we are still waiting for applications until next week. And we hope that we will find and see some new talents, or we'll hear some topics which are not covered during the main event speaker presentations. And then on the 4th day, we also have workshops with 3 different experts. So yeah, this is a great opportunity, especially for Europeans. It's one of the, I would say, top 3 events I recommend to visit in Europe, besides Seller Sessions and Top Docs Summit by Danny Macmillan and Tomer Rabinovich. And okay, Patrick says thank you. He's happy with the answer, sounds like. And I think that's it. And I keep this. Yeah, cool. Thank you, Max. And maybe one more time. So BidiX is a software, not an agency, right? And maybe one more time how you help people and sellers in the space.
So besides the typical bid and keyword adjustments, we also optimize your budget based on the likelihood that we can invest more of it, or if it's wasted over there. We take into consideration your inventory level. So if you run out of stock pretty soon, then it might make sense to reduce the bids in the budget, because like, again, you can increase the margins. We also take into consideration share of voice and the paid as well as organic positions that you do have at the moment, and we make adjustments based on that. So if you are like on top with both, then it might make sense to reduce the paid listing a little bit, because like you will probably generate that sale anyway. And also by leveraging, for instance, the bestseller rank, which helps you to identify how are you performing at the moment compared to your peers, you are able to boost ads or like reduce the spend that you do have at the moment to compete, like to keep the position that you currently have, or like to increase the position that you do have compared to all your peers. And we do that now since over 6 years. We do that in all different marketplaces around the globe, help over 2,000 brands. Doing so, manage hundreds of millions in advertising spend, and are happy to support you in reducing the amount of wasted ad spend and increasing your profits.
Great. Thank you very much. Thank you, Max. And I see Brian also says thanks. And bye-bye, and see you at the conference.
Bye-bye.
Bye. And now I would like to invite you to watch other video about PPC. There you will learn how you can optimize your PPC strategies for different product life cycle stages. So check this out.